I'd rather go too far.
I have.
I'd rather go too far.
Alright guys, I'm back and welcome back. So I want to talk about some new movies. These are not going to be found footage this time. It's going to be classic, maybe obscured movies. This one, let me start with the first one. It's Bela Lugosi. Everyone knows him as uh, he's the universal horror monster of all of them. Dracula plays a great vampire. He actually set the tone for what Dracula is going to be in the future of movies and in culture, vampire culture. So, with that being said, he did another movie besides Dracula. And so this 1930, I think this one's 1933? This one's 1933, I think, or 1934. It might be around that time. It's kind of weird, this movie. 1933 it might be. So, this one's called The Return of the Vampire. And in this storyline, it's weird. They have an actual Wolfman, which I love the Wolfman, but this is a different Wolfman. This is his name is Emmaus or something like that, and he actually talks and is not wild and frenzy, but and kind of almost subservient to Dracula, Bela Lugosi's character, who's not Dracula either. He's called Armand Tesla, and the setting is this is set in Werewolf One. So, in Werewolf One, Armand is actually coming to a town somewhere in England, I think, and he's looking for his victims. But unfortunately, he's stopped because there's a doctor and a woman named Lady Jane, who will be an important character in this movie. I forgot the name of the doctor, but anyway, Lady Jane. Not to give so much away and jumble it up, but Lady Jane and the doctor stop him. They actually go to his tomb, Armand, and they put a spike in him, so he doesn't die of decay. And that's how the movie begins. So it's really weird, and you're like, wait, what's going on already? It's like, what? What? Anyhow, that's why I like that. That's why it's a surprise for me. I liked it. It's still setting in black and white, of course. It's filmed in black and white, and Bela Lugosi's still acting like Dracula, but he's just Armand Tesla now. So going on, after that, World War II happens, and this is where things are weird because there's sayings and things that are said. There might be some inappropriate lines because of that time. At that time era, it's kind of like a racist thing. I mean, you can catch it if you catch it. Some of the kids say things about German soldiers, so you're just like, what? Anyhow, moving forward, World War II, the vampire Tesla. There's a bombing where his tomb is at. The pike is removed out of him. He didn't die because he's a vampire. The pike is removed out of him, and he comes back. And then he also finds his Wolfman servant again, who was turned back to human. He captures him again, and so the storyline now revolves around Lady Jane's daughter, Nikki, and Armand falls in love, and he wants her, and he wants to keep her forever after. And so that's the storyline, and basically the ending is wild. I gave you a real quick. Just a quick overall summary, but I also have it. I wanted to say it also here. I wanted to show you what I had. I wrote down a little bit of the stuff because sometimes I just say things that I want you guys to see. So, The Return of the Vampire. It's 1943, starring Bela Lugosi as Armand Tesla, and Frida Insecourt. Frida was, I don't know if anyone knows her, I just looked her up. She was actually maybe a film actress I think she was in one of the Follies. Now this one is not Universal, this is Columbia. So Universal this is a Columbia picture. So it delivers kind of wartime drama, World War II. This one gives a unique, I'm going to say it again, a unique talking intelligent Wolfman compared to the other ones where they show him a wolf as a wild beast. Some of the highlights, I told you already about the bombings and all that. And also, this is even more interesting, he goes under Tesla, the vampire, goes as a human being as Bruckner. So he changed his name to a doctor. So it gets even more crazy. So it's just really weird. There is a standout scene I want to talk about because I'm a big Wolfman fan, and that one is two men to try to stop Andreas because they see him coming in and he's trying to maybe help the Dracula, and as soon as they grab him, he turns into the Wolfman, and instead of the Wolfman tearing him apart, he runs away from them afraid. So it's kind of a weird scene. I'm gonna give this. I'm giving new ratings to some of these movies now, and my persona. I know Omar the Wolfman, by the way. That's my new channel, my new YouTube channel, Omar the Wolfman. But you can stay on this channel too, because I'm gonna, interact. So this is basically the channel where I'm doing a lot of the horrors and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give it 2 howls. 2 howls. It's funny and a classic, so I think I would totally recommend you watch this film because of watching the Wolfman interaction. You never really see it like that, and also the World War II, World War One, and just overall, it's kind of a goofy movie. I liked it though. It was a really good movie. It wasn't a Universal monster; it was more of a Columbia picture. So that's my review on that movie. Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about the other movie I saw, a classic horror. This one was called Slaughter of the Vampire. Now, according to what I watched on YouTube, which I watched this on Creature Feature, which is a YouTube channel. I'm gonna say they're great. I like Vince and his other cast of characters. They're great too. So Tangela and Mr. Oh my God, I forgot his name. Anyway, Tangela, Vince, and the Mr. They're all great. But I'm here to talk about Slaughter of the Vampires. I really wanted to like this movie in the beginning because I thought, it's none of the actors are paid according to the video I watched, which was on Creature Feature. But I really wanted to like it because first of all, it was dubbed, so there's no English, and there was really a pretty actress in it before she turned into a vampire. Her name is Louise. So she's probably one of the main characters in it. But there's also the Count. I guess his name is. He is the owner of the castle, not Count Dracula, the other guy. There's a prince, you could almost say, and yeah. So he is vitally important. Yes, so hold on. I want to make sure my camera doesn't fall. So I'm going to pull it forward a little bit. Okay, so that being said, let me see if we got in focus. Okay guys, I'm back. Just worried about my camera falling back. That would be horrible. Anyway, back to this film. I'm so distracted. This film, I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like Slaughter of the Vampires. The story, I guess, is just dragging, and it's basically about a woman who falls in love with a man, and he invites everyone to the ball because he's going to marry her. So it's like a Cinderella kind of story, kind of weird. And all of a sudden, there is a mysterious man who comes, and everybody, all the aristocratic people are talking about this man, and of course he's the vampire, and he seduces Louise, and so he comes into her bedroom, and she's afraid of him at first. She doesn't want to be with him. She's like, no, I don't want to be with him, and then he uses his power, some mystical power, so it's very sexual in the energy, and so he bites her, and of course she turns. And that's when the story progresses as it goes. The prince is so upset about it. He notices she's not the same, and he hires a doctor to see what's going on with her. It's the doctor who finds out that she's a vampire and that this doctor's been chasing this vampire. And so the story ensues, and eventually the doctor helps the prince fight fight the vampire, but it's too late because his wife, the girl he loves, has to be killed because she's a vampire. So stake through the heart, she's dead. Now he has to worry about this vampire recruiting more vampires. So I don't know why it was called Slaughter of the Vampire, because it was just so, you'd think they'd kill so many vampires in this movie. In the very beginning, there's about maybe 3 vampires are killed in this whole movie. So I'm not putting it down, but it was just the costumes were beautiful. First of all, the costumes and the set were beautiful. The black and white was fantastic. Even the female Louise was a beautiful actress, but it wasn't convincing enough for me to be so scary. It was more classic, It's more European, I guess, horror, which, Nosferatu's go great. But this one, I don't want to compare that to that because it's two different ideas here. But Slaughter of the Vampires didn't do it for me. I would not recommend this film for maybe to view it one time. I watched it 5 times just to see if I understood, if I missed anything, and I personally didn't miss anything. The ending was pretty bizarre. He's finally dueling off with the vampire that took his wife away, and they're alone together. And what typical vampires, they end the movie that way. Even the ending when the doctor is having a smoke and it just prolongs too long. You think maybe he's coming back, it doesn't. So this Wolfman is going to give it a snarl. I'm going to give this a snarl for this movie. And if you watch it, let me know. Maybe you watch it and you might have a different take that I missed, because I always like to look inside in movies. So yeah, thanks guys.
I always thought she was exaggerating the power this thing might have, but, well, having someone like Archie pestering me this much means I should be taking this seriously.
Ladies, I've been around the block a time or two, and I know when someone's taking me for a ride.
I told you whoever you found wouldn't believe me.
Please. Even if you take issue with that part of the story, Bird is a problem we can't ignore any longer. We can't let him get his hands on the club or that item, wherever it is, whatever it is. Maybe this is all a wild goose chase, but even if it turns out to be nothing, we have to get him off our backs and out of this place for good. There's an aggression there lately. It's radiating off him.
He's tired of waiting, and I think he's done asking. He's ready to take whatever he can get his hands on. We need to keep an eye on him at all times. We need to find that talisman and destroy it. For good.
I know. Detective?
Miss, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this whole story you've just wove for me.
We'll work fast.
I'll do what I can.
Have a nice quiet night with some friends. Thought perhaps I'd even be lucky enough to speak with someone as luminous as yourself.
What a charmer you are. You know you're always welcome at Rosemary's, Mr. Bird, but I'm afraid I'm terrifically busy with my associates, so I would encourage you and your friends to find a table. Betty, please see
Not really about the club, is it?
No, I guess it isn't.
You know what I want, Claire. Baby girl. And I'm gonna get it.
I'd like to see you try.
A challenge. I like that.
You couldn't take me down with both hands tied behind your back.
Miss Sturback, how risque.
To do with Bird, but I'm no magic man. I don't know what to do with a cursed object. That kind of ghoulishness is outside my purview. I can tail a crook, though, and I can get him off yours.
That's what I'm paying you for, isn't it?
Are you paying me? Because we never agreed to a rate.
We need you to run interference with Bird. Keep an eye on him. Find out if he has a weak spot. Give us time to dig deeper in this space while he's distracted.
Just head back to the bar, Detective. Betty will take care of you. But whatever you do, don't let Bird out of your sight. Jude, we have to go back to the basement.
I don't feel safe down there.
We'll never be safe until we finish this.
I know.
We'll get through this. We always do. Detective? Do let me know if you see anything. Tell the bartender to come find me if something happens.
I wasn't sure what to make of the ladies. The whole thing felt like a fairy tale, but they came at me with such confidence that I felt myself getting wrapped up. You have the face.
Oh, you're a natural-born charmer. I see why they brought you on. But please, let's talk business. I assume the radiant Miss Sturback and her partner have engaged your services. They seem very mistrusting of me and my companions. Completely unwarranted, I'll have you know. Just because my friends are rough around the edges doesn't mean they aren't deserving of respect, even if they have their issues. But us two, we don't have to have any. All you have to do is answer me one simple question. Tell me what the ladies are up to. I'll make it worth your while.
Sorry, mister. I'm not here to tell stories. I just want to enjoy my scotch. Thanks again.
Oh, I love a man who offers loyalty so quickly. How quaint. I'm sure Claire's friend won you over with her sparkling wit, or what have you. I have to admit I've never had to try too hard to engender loyalty from my companions. That's what money is for. And frankly, I would like to enlist your services.
Wait, you want to hire me?
I can see that nothing gets past you, detective. Whatever they're paying you, I'll triple it. Quadruple it, even.
What's the catch?
I assume the ladies enlightened you about a certain item. It's something that they would like to keep out of my hands, but it's an item that rightfully belongs to me. A birthright, if you will. Now, if a person...
Rah!
All right, guys. So I'm back, and I wanted to talk about the latest movie I saw this week, which was really weird. I've been in the classics and like even bad classics. No, this week maybe not too much found footage, but more. I see these videos on YouTube, so all these recommendations are definitely YouTube. And the latest weird one, which I thought was going to be really bad, but it was pretty interesting to say the least. It was called Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. What a weird movie. The premises is I think the director, I don't know who the director is. I forgot the director. There was not that any actors that I can point out, but basically the premises of the movie was kind of weird. Basically, Dr. Frankenstein uh, is trying to make an army. I guess he's an evil one. I guess he's trying to make an army of vampires. So he captures. I think he finds a way to replicate Dracula, and he starts killing people off and doing like a blood fusion and makes them into vampires. And he eventually catches Dracula. So now Dracula is a prisoner of Dr. Frankenstein. Mind you, Frankenstein's monster, everyone knows from Hollywood, the big green thing, is also in the movie. And as the movie premises goes and it goes on, there is like another side of the story at a town where he's doing this at the Dr. Frankenstein, and they're gypsies. And if you know anything about Hollywood movies, especially Universal Pictures with the Gypsy Curse, there is going to be another character. So you got Dr. Frankenstein, you got the Green Monster, you got a version of Igor. I forgot his name. It's not really, he's not called Igor, but he's like him. And you got Dracula and the vampires. The werewolf makes an appearance in this movie, even though it's not mentioned in the title. And I was pretty excited to see that. Unfortunately, it's just goes worse and worse. So I just want to wrap it up real quickly. The werewolf makes an appearance in this, and it's kind of like he's kind of like the hero actually in this, which is weird. Uh, but yeah, I think I would recommend you to watch this movie if you've never seen it one time in your life, and just either you can laugh about it or you can say, "Wow, this really stunk." I don't want to be mean because it's not to say it stunk, but I think it was. I know what they were going with the direction at the time. I think they were just trying to push a movie. I like the storyline actually; it was quite interesting of bringing vampires back to life and holding the Prince of Darkness and having him as a prisoner and to use him for your army was a pretty cool idea. And to have I don't want to give away the gypsies have their hero too. You'll probably alluded to that. So anyway, I give this movie definitely, as my Wolfman appearance has been, I'm going to give it a snarl. That's pretty much it. All right. Ooh, utter perfection. Sausage, pancakes, peaches, made by my love. You see her shades. And I put Bowl & Basket's original syrup because I'm just a greedy fat fuck like that. Okay, guys, this is my third take. Work with me here, sorry. I wanted to talk about The Werewolf. So I'm really passionate about this one because I'm actually trying to push it, not just for content and for you guys to watch it, but I actually want to see this movie because at first I thought it was going to be your normal 1950s, really cheesy, corny movie. Of course it's on YouTube, so sometimes you get some good things. And this one was free with ads, I think, so I watched this with ads. Who cares? I watched it. I enjoyed it. What can I say about this film? Let me start with the beginning of this film. It's called The Werewolf, of course. It's black and white on Tubi. On YouTube, free with ads. So I'm watching it, and it begins the very beginning of the film begins a gentleman walking into a bar. It's a nighttime, and you're thinking, okay, this is a weird way it begins, and you could feel that 50s vibe, like a middle America type thing in the 50s. And the guy has amnesia. He has amnesia, so he's in the bar, he doesn't know what is exactly going on, and he goes for a drink, then comes out the bar, and something happens where another man in this town, of course, this thug asks him for money, and he gets into a scuffle with him. They fight, and instantly, it doesn't show you, but he turns into this creature. And as they're fighting in the scuffle and he comes out, a woman passes by and screams, and she sees a wolf-type creature, thus the werewolf. She sees the werewolf. And this sets off a chain of events where they're looking for this werewolf. Why would you want to watch this as soon as you watch that movie? I'm going to give you some reasons why I think you want to watch it. Number one, this film threw me off because it's different from the other werewolf films. So if you know the werewolf films, when the moon turns, you become a wolfman, and there's always a Dracula nearby, there's a Frankenstein, there's silver bullets involved, there's a gypsy lore involved. But in this particular one, it's a whole new spin. This is more on a World War II / nuclear war, post-apocalyptic stage front. And why I mentioned those? Because it has to do with two scientists in this film. The two scientists in this film bring a new twist to the whole genre of this. They actually, prior in the story, he's in a car crash. They pull him out and they inject him with wolf serum. Thus, he becomes this creature. And so these two doctors are battling moral dilemmas. One's, saying, man has become, we've gotten so strong with science and technology, and we're going to make so much more things. And the other guy says, why are we doing this? Why are we making these creatures? And it's the name of science or for our egos, and is it going to destroy us? So it kind of has a theme going on with during that time with nuclear post war in America, and how we're progressing as a society, making things. So there's some political issues involved in this film, which was interesting, how the twist was. So the character also has, there's also this deep dilemma with this character who's the werewolf, because he has a family, he has a son and a wife who are looking for him. And thus this story becomes more wholesome and warm instead of, to me anyway, in my opinion, it becomes a whole new spin on the Wolfman and the werewolf genre. And it's quite interesting, actually. That's why I would totally watch this. It's not like your typical, the CGI effects, haunting, spooky, and he goes on a hunt. No, he's running around because he can't figure out what he is and what creature he is. And he goes it's in the town of Chesterfield. And in the town of Chesterfield, it's a small town, and of course, after that scuffle he had with that gentleman who he left for dead, by the way, there's a sheriff. The sheriff he's got to stand up for his community, and he has to show that he's a strong sheriff, and he has to find this creature. As he goes in the film, he goes digging in. He finds out that this Wolfman thing or guy has been around the town looking for doctors, and also has a family. So he has a son and a daughter. So this is kind of a moral dilemma. I really like that part of this aspect of this film. Also like the doctor's aspect of these two doctors who are making these creatures, especially the werewolf. Overall, the film definitely gets 3 howls for me. 3 howls. I liked it so much. Woo! Woo! It's really good. It's really good. Sorry about that corny wolf howl. But yeah, I really liked it. I think that you can come away with watching this and understanding at the time when America was going through this, I guess, this country of America, we were going through some nuclear war and post-apocalyptic, and having this great, great resurgence of technology and science And so this film puts that in there instead of the typical old lore, where the old lore was the full moon, silver bullets, vampires, and he would come out the Wolfman. And this one, the werewolf is in the daytime showing up, and because he's pushed in anger, almost like this anger builds in him to defense mechanism to turn into the wolf to defend himself. Really good film, I think. I like it for the Wolfman Werewolf series. Underrated, but I like it. All right, guys. So I hope you can come away with that. I'm not trying to sell it to you, but I hope you watch it. And if you do, maybe you come away with some things that I maybe didn't see my point of view that you could share in the comments below your point of view. So don't be afraid to tell me your point of view. Maybe I'm way off and I'm overthinking it, or you did see something, or you saw something totally different and said, "What the hell was I watching?" But yeah, I welcome you guys. I always like a good. I like to hear your stuff. I'm always a sponge for that. This Wolfman will. I'm a weird Wolfman. I am going to open up my mind for you guys. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And bye bye.